The Los Angeles Lakers have interest in Kyle Kuzma. Would they be a good trade partner for the Wizards? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to tell you why. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I hope everybody had a blessed and safe, fun 4th of July. And I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So today, tonight's live topic, obviously, is surrounding the interest that the Los Angeles Lakers have in Kyle Kuzma. So would they be a good trade partner? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to tell you why. Several factors why they wouldn't, and then we're going to get into comments and start off the weekend like we always do, everybody. So let's get into it. The Los Angeles Lakers have interest in Kyle Kuzma returning back to Los Angeles. Would they be a good trade partner? No, they wouldn't, and there's several reasons why. Let's get into it, everybody. Looking at the asking price that the Wizards have put forward for Kyle Kuzma, which is two first-round picks. Obviously, you would have to throw players in there to match salaries, but the biggest part of any future deal for Kyle Kuzma is what? Draft capital. And so let's start with that. First reason why I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers would be a good trade partner is because the lack of trade capital or draft capital, that is, my bad. If you look at the draft pick situation, let's see, 2025, they have their first round pick, but actually, let's see, it belongs to the Pelicans. So there you go with that. Of course, they got the second round pick, which is belongs to, So 2026, they don't have a first rounder, or they do have a first rounder. Let's see. My bad, guys. I'm looking at prosportstransactions.com. So the way they kind of set it up is a little confusing. But looking at their draft situation as far as draft picks, I mean, 2026, they got they don't have their second round pick. 2027, they don't have. The Jazz have that pick. They have the 2028. They have the 2029, and then from 2030 up, they have the first rounders. But they don't have a first rounder in 2027, 2025. So obviously, 2025 is definitely the year that if we're going to get draft capital, it has to be in 2025, right? Because that is the big Cooper Flag draft. Now, looking at their draft situation, could they realistically send us draft picks? Yeah, they could. But here's the thing. If you look at the Lakers, what's going on, LeBron James has signed a 2-year extension. And pretty much after 2 years, there's a strong indication he's going to retire. So if you look at that, the Lakers are probably going to start rebuilding right after the LeBron era. So I think that the Lakers are going to be very hesitant to include draft capital, man, because, after the LeBron era, they're need draft picks. Now, obviously, 2030 forward, they have the draft picks, but again, taking another look at it, 2025, the Pelicans have that pick. So, that would be one red flag in my opinion, because obviously the Wizards want to get draft capital for what years? 2025, 26, and 27. So they do have their 2026 first round pick. So that is tradable, and they have their 2028. But like I said, 2028 to me, I think that the Lakers will be hesitant to move that pick, because the reason is that, look, they have to rebuild after the LeBron era. And Anthony Davis is not the type of guy where I think he's going to be able to keep this team competitive enough. And so I think that after LeBron retires in 2 years, which strong indication is, now it's not written in stone, but I mean, how long can Brother Man play, man? I mean, I'm just saying. So I think they would be hesitant to send those picks to us. Now, they very well could. They need another score. And Kyle Kuzma, after, different player than he was with the Lakers, right? When he was with the Lakers, he was a role player, still finding out who he was as a player. Since coming to DC, he has become a complete player. At his size, he's proven to be a 20 points plus a night scorer. And I think that is much needed in LA with the Lakers, man. Excuse me, guys, I'm sweating. I have the AC, I have the fan on, but this room I'm in, for some reason, man, it makes me sweat. So excuse me, everybody. But getting back into it, looking at Lakers, like I said, with their draft capital situation, they very well could send us the 2026, 2028 draft picks. But here's the thing with the Lakers, man. Like I said, your 2026 is probably going to be a late first rounder, which, I get it. If you look at what Will Dawkins did, getting Keyshawn George, he's shown the capability to find diamonds in the rough later in the first round. So not too concerned with that. But me personally, and this is my opinion, obviously, I think the Lakers are going to be hesitant to send us to 2028 because if I'm the Lakers, if I'm the GM of the Lakers, you still hold some hope for the future. And like I said, 2028, LeBron's gone. So you have to rebuild at some point. Now, what's on the flip side of that? It's LA. It's the Lakers, man. It's the Lake Show. They're synonymous with winning. So would the Lakers ever really rebuild to a certain degree? No. So they very well could be willing to part ways with the 2026 and 2028 first round picks and send them to the Wizards. Because again, the asking price right now is 2 first round picks. So do I think they will get it? I think there is still a chance we can get 2 first round picks, but I think it's going to get harder as time goes by, in my opinion, even though his contract is very team friendly, not only for the Wizards, but for prospective teams who want to acquire a player and not have to break the bank or sell a farm to do so, right? So he's definitely a tradable commodity. And I think that Will Dawkins, you definitely start with 2 first round picks. In negotiations, man, you always start high. So yes, you definitely start off with 2 first round picks, man. So the second reason I don't really think the Lakers are a willing trade partner, in my opinion, or they could be willing, but a good trade partner, is because we have to match salaries, right? So looking at their contract situation, in the payroll situation or their cap situation, that is, what players could we ask in return to match salaries? Which this year coming up, Kyle Kuzma will be making $23 million a year. So there's a couple players to look at, and you can look at maybe a combination of a few players, but these 5 players are the guys that I think that will definitely be part of any trade package for Kyle Kuzma. Number 1, D'Angelo Russell. Now, he does have a player option. So I don't know. I have to double check everybody to see if he enacted that. Let's go ahead and I don't see it right now. But if he indeed does enact his player option, he very well could be a guy headed to DC. Now, obviously, he wouldn't be a good fit. Why is that? We're trying to get better defensively, especially in the guard rotation. D'Angelo Russell's not known for his defense, offensive-minded guard. And, if you look at a potential fit with him and Jordan Poole, we know what a backcourt is with 2 scoring guards where defense is not a priority. We saw that with Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole this previous season, and it doesn't work. So D'Angelo Russell, I would not want him here. Age 28, yes, he'll be an expiring deal. But, you have Malcolm Brogdon, you have Jared Butler, obviously Jordan Poole. The list goes on, Bub Carrington. So you already have a saturated guard rotation already, in my opinion. Now, and obviously with Tyus Jones, man, with his asking price being upwards to $20 million a year, right now it's kind of shaky for Tyus Jones as far as the free agent market because he is still unsigned. And what team is going to be willing to give him $20 million a year? And what teams are really going to be looking at Tyus Jones to be that starter going forward? So you could see Tyus Jones come back for a 1-year deal. You never know because there's a lot of speculation with the point guard position. Right now, obviously, to me, the future of the point guard position, at least for the next 3 years, is going to be Jordan Poole. And so Tyus Jones, Malcolm Brogdon, Jared Butler. And on the flip side of the coin, any future transaction that centers around the point guard position, you got to look at minutes for Bub Carrington because, look, we're a rebuilding team, and allotment of minutes for the young guys has to be priority, especially Bub Carrington, man. The local probably got to be more. He's a guy who, look, very high risk but high reward type of prospect because he could play. Obviously it comes down to development, and what's part of development, allotment of minutes. We definitely have to give him a good amount of minutes on the second unit, man, because he very well could be the point guard of the future. We don't know that yet, but if you look at his scouting report, if you look at any tape on Bub Carrington, he can play. So, getting back to the Lakers, some other guys to look at as far as salary wise, because D'Angelo Russell is 18.6, so it would probably be him and maybe a player like Jalen Hood-Schifino. They're not going to move on from Dalton next. Christian Wood is definitely another intriguing prospect, 28 years old. He's got, but again, if you look at our center rotation, as far as, we got Alex Sarr now, who's going to probably start at the 4, but, Jonas Valanciunas. The list goes on. So fit with that. Rui Hachimura making $17 million this year coming up. Now I get it. Will Dawkins just traded Denny. So why would he turn around and trade for a Tommy player? And I don't see where Rui fit on his current roster. Now I'm not gonna bring up the whole, the Denny versus Rui ness and that. People saying that Rui was holding back Denny, and then you're not gonna deal with that this time around because Denny is now a Portland Trailblazer. But I don't see Will Dawkins, having a reunion with Rui, man. I don't think Rui's come back to DC. And honestly, at this stage, I think that where does Rui fit the best? The power forward position. That's Alex Starr, man. So the priority, minutes, everything goes to Alex Starr. So I wouldn't see a fit with Rui as far as him coming back to DC. Looking at Austin Reeves, I see the Lakers are being very hesitant to move him because he's on a really good contract. He makes $12 million this year coming up and 13, and then he has a player option for the third year. So he'd be making about 12.9. But like I said, just because of how well he played with LeBron and how good he rolled, I don't see the Lakers being willing to move Austin Reeves, to be honest with you guys. So looking forward, a couple more players. Gabe Vincent is a guy that's very intriguing, $11 million, and then two-year contract. So he'll make $11 million this year and 11.5 the second year. Not a bad contract, but then again, with Gabe Vincent, with his position, point guard, those minutes have to be allotted to other places. Bub Carrington, Jared Butler, obviously Jordan Poole, because in my opinion, and the opinion of most Wizards fans, that he's going to be the point guard going forward. Now we see, ties again, but we'll deal with that when it happens. So, like I said, one more player, Jared Vanderbilt, age 25. I mean, he's on a 4-year contract. Was a 3-year contract with a player option for year 4. I mean, he's making 10.7, but then again, where would you best play him? And Jared Vanderbilt would be a power forward. And like I said, all priority goes to Alex Sarr at the power forward position, man. So I don't see a player that would really fit what the Wizards are trying to do. Now, if you're trying to get a guy on an expiring contract, probably their best bet would be D'Angelo Russell. So kind of my next point, guys, is that any potential deal for Kyle Kuzma would what? Have to include a third team. You would have to have a third team to make that happen. And we'll see, man. I mean, maybe that third team can get us a young player. I mean, Will Dawkins has shown that he can be crafty. So I think that, Will Dawkins is definitely going to explore any further moves, especially, Kyle Kuzma, looking at Landry Shamet. Tyus Jones, I'm telling you right now, guys, definitely keep your eye on Tyus Jones because he has not reached his asking price, man. And, his return to DC is more and more seeming a lot more likely the more that he's unsigned, in my opinion. So, and they very well could still do a sign and trade, but right now, you're not hearing a lot of friction as far as Tyus Jones because it goes back to the point where how many teams out here in the NBA really look at him as a point guard, a starting point guard, that is. And he's shown that he can be that guy on a rebuilding team, but on the contender, you may not see, you don't see that. And it's nothing against Tyus. It's just, he fits better on a rebuilding team where he can be that floor general, where he can dictate pace, where he can look to contribute and get other people involved. So could he work in DC with a rebuilding team? Yes, but I think the ship has sailed. And in my humble opinion, I think that you have to roll with Jordan Poole at point guard going forward. So, like I said, I'm gonna say no to any potential deal with the Lakers because there's not a player on the roster that I really want in return. Their draft pick situation, yes, they have the 2026, 2028, but me personally, I would think that the Lakers would be somewhat hesitant to include the 2028 just because you want to hold some kind of hope as far as draft capital in the future. Because look, the Lakers aren't going to have LeBron forever, and he just signed a 2-year extension. So, I mean, and one heck of an extension too. So I don't see them being a really good trade partner unless we get a third team. So we're gonna get into comments. It's been a while, everybody. So definitely look forward to chopping it up with you guys. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. So passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. And with all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day long? Had to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, everybody, let's get in the comments. And like I said, my apologies, guys. I got a fan, I got the AC, man, but I live in the top floor of an apartment building, man. And as you guys know, heat rises. So for some reason, it was 103 today. So for some reason, I'm still hurting up here, man, even though I'm cooled off. So just bear with me, guys. So let's get into the comments. Definitely, we got 47 people in here, so definitely I appreciate you guys, man. Taking time out of your day to rock with your boy, man. We'll start with Locked on Law. The Lakers, that's probably going to be no from me. I'm with you on that because the Lakers screwed us on every trade we've ever made with them except Kuzma. Yeah, I mean, that Russ trade wasn't bad, but I'm with you on that. The Russ trade wasn't bad because we were able to have pieces that we could flip. You know, we flipped Trez again. KCP is definitely a trade that I not only do I regret it, I think that's the trade that cost Tommy his job because, you know, what were the issues the year after we traded KCP? 3-point shooting and defense, which, you know, KCP is that 3-and-D guy that happened to be that one piece, man, that really pushed Denver over the top. So definitely congrats to him. But I definitely think that, you know, moving him for Will Barton and Monte Morris, man, it was a big mistake, and that cost Tommy his job. Deborah Stewart said Kyle Kuzma's team-friendly contract would be traded to Utah Jazz for John Collins' contract, along with 2 first-round picks. Yeah, I mean, I like that trade, but the only thing is, I mean, you could start John Collins, and you could probably put Alex Sarr on the second unit for that to work. And, I mean, it's not totally a bad thing. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm going to put the poll out. You guys tell me, man. Do you think that Alex Sarr should start right away, or you think that, you know, him starting the second unit would be more beneficial? I'm going to put that poll out right after the show. But a very intriguing deal. But like I said, I think right now Alex Sarr is a starter at power forward. But, you know, if you acquire 2 first-round picks and John Collins, then, you know, you definitely could see, you know, him going to the second unit, which may not be bad. And you know, because this is all about development, man. So we know that the MO would do it. I'm about to call him Bill. Will Dawkins is that, you know, he is the Oklahoma City Thunder model, right? Which is acquiring bad contracts for picks. So that would definitely qualify for that. So I would definitely entertain that. But like I said, I'm gonna ask you guys, you know, what you guys think, man? Because right now I like to see Alex Sarr start. But I mean, if you acquire John Collins, man, you know, that's not a bad deal for 2 first-round picks in Kyle Kuzma, man. Locked on Law says, fun story. Magic Johnson was the one who talked to Washington Bullets Mitch Kupchak into signing with the Lakers back in 1981. Kupchak was the Lakers GM who screwed Washington over in every trade. Man, you do not like the Lakers. I can dig it, man. That's a really cool story, man. That's a good story. Did not know that. So let's see. Let's see some more comments. Guru Strong, how you doing tonight, man? The Lakers have nothing we want or need. Hard pass for me. I'm with you on that. You know, I don't see anything player-wise. As far as the players where their contracts would match up with Kyle Kuzma's, I just don't see anybody who, you know, either A, would work, and B, I see them as being hard to move on from, man, in my opinion. I mean, D'Angelo Russell, none against him. It's just, you know, if you bring him to DC, you got to start him. And with a backcourt of him and Jordan Poole, number one, Jordan Poole needs the ball in his hands. So he needs to be the point guard, he's not a 2-guard, in my humble opinion. Now, can he play 2-guard? Absolutely. You know, very versatile combo guard, man. But I think that for his fit on this team and what the team's trying to do as far as pushing the pace and really attacking the defense in transition, Jordan Poole's got to be the guy at point guard, in my opinion, man. Guru Strong also said a third team would definitely have to be added for this to even make sense. Absolutely. Yeah, the only way that it would happen to be a third team because, even then, I mean, every year the Lakers are trying to ask the NBA for help to get LeBron another championship. And, you know, I just don't see it, man. I do not see it. Let's see. Link, what's going on? How you doing tonight? If Goose could somehow go to another team while we develop, then come back, I'd be cool with it. If anyone deserves to be on this team when good, is him. But right now, his shots hurt us long term. I agree. I love me some Kuzma, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Kuzma. Watching him kind of become that complete player in DC, I love it. I would love him on this team long term if this was a team that was trying to make a playoff push. Yeah, because I like him as a player. Wasn't a big fan of him with the Lakers, to be honest with you. With the whole social media back and forth with Lonzo Ball, I thought, I felt there's like at the time there's a lot of immaturity, but he's matured up. He's really become a leader here in DC. So I'm with you on that. Would not mind him coming back. Definitely a big fan. Like I said, if I have a jersey, that means I rock with you. I don't have any scrubs in my closet, man. So I got a Kuz up in there. So definitely like Kuz. I'm with you on that. And with him being here long term, because look, here's the thing: they're going to explore a trade for Kyle Kuzma. But if you look at this contract, and it's the same thing with Jonas Valanciunas and Jordan Poole, they're going to explore trades for all three of them. You best believe that. And then the chances are all three are probably going to be gone before their contract in Washington ends. So that's just the bare reality. But he's set up roots in the area, which I get it. It's not a reason why you shouldn't trade somebody. But he likes Washington. He loves DC. He has been good for this team. But you hit the nail on the head. He's got to change his game. And like I said, when I was there, I asked him that question. What do you do personally to change your game this season coming up? And he said, look, I got to learn to get other people involved. And that's straight from the horse's mouth. So he said that straight up to me. So he knows what he has to do for this team to not only get better, and for him to eat. It's for him. He's got to change his game a little bit. So I think he will, man. I definitely think he will. Guru Strong says hashtag sign John Wall. I'm with you, man. And let's see. Dan S. What's going on? Gotta let Tyus walk and trade Brogdon, Poole, and Bub should be point guard rotation, in my opinion. I love it. I'm with you, man. Tyus, sign and trade. But here's the thing. He's not getting that friction like he thought he was going to get in free agency. And that doesn't mean the Wizards have to say, oh, well, we got you. Come on back. You do what's best for the team as far as the front office, and I think they will do that. But if either way, you have to get some value for Tyus Jones. Sign and trade, I think, is definitely the best route because you want to get some kind of compensation for Tyus Jones because, we got to offer for four second-round picks, and we said no. So you definitely have to get something close to that or better, man, to justify not making that move for 4 second-round picks. Kenny, what's up? I can't wait for Summer League. I'm with you, man. Definitely looking forward to, man. It's coming up, so I'm looking forward to that and the Olympics, man. We're going to talk within the next couple of weeks, man. We're going to talk a lot about Bilal Coulibaly and why it's really a good thing for him to be in the Olympics, man, because he's going to be playing top-end talent. And I think that's going to do wonders for his development, man, in my humble opinion. Area 11_T. The odds Kuz gets traded back to LA is lower than John playing for us again. I'm with you, man. I don't see a reunion in LA. Now, John Wall, I think eventually he will be back, not as a player. But if you look at, the olive branch between Ted Leonsis and Gilbert Arenas, I mean, obviously flashing gang signs on video after being hurt for a couple years is just not the best thing to do. But, I mean, if you look at bringing guns to his locker room, if he's willing to talk to Gilbert, he's got to be willing to talk to John at some point, man. So I definitely want to see him, definitely back in the fold with the organization in some capacity going forward, man. Will it happen this year? I don't think so. Would it happen within the next 3 to 5? We'll see. But I think eventually you have to, man. Kenny, Brandon, what's your starting five for the Wiz as of now? Right now? Oh, man. Jordan Poole, point guard. 2 guard is going to be Bilal. 3, Kyle Kuzma. 4, Alex Sarr. And 5, Jonas Valanciunas. I think that's probably your best starting 5 right now. And obviously it's subject to, matchups and stuff like that. But for right now, that's going to be my starting 5, man. So, Kenny, what's yours, man? Let me know. Antisocial extrovert. Man, that is a mouthful, but I like it. Thanks for all you do. Question mark? Oh, okay. But I appreciate you, man. Thoughts on Tyus Jones? Think we'll get a good lottery pick? Tyus Jones, could he be good here? Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. Jordan Poole needs the ball in his hands. Now, if they bring back Tyus, then Jordan Poole is probably going to be the 6th man. And with that makes things a little more hairier, man, because you got Jared Butler, who this is his last year of guaranteed part of his contract. But then you have Bub Carrington, which, why Bub Carrington is the biggest. How do I phrase this? You have to see Bub Carrington as far as pay dirt to justify the Denny trade, in my opinion, because again, if you look at the Denny trade, trading a 23-year-old guy who you drafted, who you developed, and who broke out, Bub's got to perform, man, to justify that move, man. So, and I think he will, man. I mean, Bub Carrington, man, he's a baller, he's a dog. So, I think he'll be just fine. I think we'll get a good lottery pick. This team's. Here's the thing: we could win 15 to 20, maybe 25 games. Now, if you saw what happened with the Atlanta Hawks getting number 1 overall pick, look, the lottery is funny, man. I mean, it's just not guaranteed because obviously Detroit deserved it. And you can also argue that we deserve number 1 overall pick too, and amongst other teams, San Antonio, list goes on. But I mean, it's funny with the lottery, and that's why I said, guys, don't make it to where it's Cooper Flagg or bust, because there's a lot of talent in next year's draft. A lot of talent, man. I'm trying to tell you. So don't make a Kuzma flag a bust, even though, yeah, I mean, that's definitely your target. But your top 10 next year is gonna be nice, man. So definitely wouldn't make it the Kuzma flag a bust. Dennis said I wouldn't be too focused on what the Lakers could give us in terms of players. It was all about them draft picks. I agree with you. And like I said, the two closest ones is 2026 and 2028. So yeah, I could definitely see them moving on from 2026 because that's within the realms of, LeBron's going to be here. And so they're definitely trying to be a playoff team. And it ain't going to be easy, man. The Western Conference is a monster, so it's not going to be easy. But I'm with you. 2028, what could pry that loose? And maybe it would take a young player. If you look at Corey Kispert, his name's been involved with trade talks. Maybe you add Corey. And I like Corey, man, but I get it. If you look at Denny, Denny trade has shown that Will Dawkins has no problem, selling a lot of these young guys off that were Tommy guys. Denny has a lot of upside, but he was still tradable. Will Dawkins said, look, Bilal is the only tradable asset, or he's the only untouchable. My bad. He ain't tradable at all. He's the only untouchable asset. Everybody else is tradable. So he proved that with Denny, man. So I like Kispert, but if he could sweeten the deal for maybe to get those 2 first-round picks, maybe you make that move because he definitely right now has trade interest and trade value, in my opinion. Luck and Law says starting 5 has to be Valanciunas, Sarr, Kuzma, Coulibaly, and Poole as of right now. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That is definitely that ain't a bad starting 5, y'all. I mean, for a rebuilding team, that's not bad because Poole's going to push it. And I'm telling you, when Poole focuses on the other parts of being a starting point guard as far as his vision, which he's got vision. But when you see him do his thing as a point guard, man, pushing the pace and transition, every guy you just named can roll. Now, Valanciunas, I think what can you really expect of him at this stage of his career? And you're obviously not expecting prime Valanciunas, right? Because he's now going, leaving his prime at age 32. So, but it's not about, it's not so much about what can you expect from Valanciunas because I think he's a good complement to Alex Sarr. I mean, even at age 32, he's going to be a perfect complement in my opinion. But that's a good starting 5. That is not bad for a rebuilding team. Kenny, thumbs up. Gotcha. Anti-social extrovert says I would keep Kuz until the deadline, and I think they will. I definitely think. I don't think he's going to get moved before the season starts because here's the thing, man. Look, everything is, that poster from Mexico City had who on it, and I think that kind of told people that Denny probably was on his way out of the door, man, because Denny went on the poster. So if you see who was on the posters, then with Kuz, the fact that he's on the poster, I think that because look, here's the thing with Kuz. Yes, you got to kind of look at what else does he provide outside of basketball. Look, with the fashion game, he's definitely a guy who is in Hollywood. He surrounds himself with people who are in Hollywood and music, the entertainment industry. Look, man, he's got a lot that comes with him. So I think that is another reason they love Kuz. Not only what he is as a player, but his connection to other markets. What I mean? Let's see. Tay, the Lakers can have Kuzma. I mean, he would definitely make them better because he would definitely add another scoring punch. I just don't see a player on the roster. Like you said, I believe it was Dan S. Yeah, I believe, like Dan S said, man, it's all about the draft picks. So 2026, 2028, if they're willing to let those roll, you probably can see him. But I just don't see Kuz going to LA. And Sacramento Kings right now, if you guys do not know, DeMar DeRozan, Chicago Bulls are in talks with the Sacramento Kings right now about a potential move for DeMar DeRozan. So that's just another suitor off the market because Sacramento's been linked to Kuzma for years now. So Dan S says, I just fear we'll wait till the deadline, waste half a year of development just for him to walk or talk our free front office, my bad, into staying. I'm with you. I definitely agree with you, what you're trying to say. I mean, as far as development, I don't see anybody he's really holding up. Now, before Denny was traded, then it was obviously like, okay, between Denny and Kyle Kuzma, which both of them I like, but if I had to choose one to keep and one to trade, it would have been Kyle Kuzma, keep Denny. Even though, like I said, I do understand the Denny Avia trade, great value. I believe that Will Dawkins did get great value. And like I said, it's a win-win because, Portland, he has a place in Portland. They need a starting, small forward. So he's going to go right in, get those starting minutes, and he's going to play good ball in Portland, man. So let's see. Inside social extrovert, trade Kuz, package him with Tyus Jones, Utah, John Collins, and picks. like I said, I'm not entirely down on that because I know that, look, Will Dawkins is going to look to take on bad contracts. And John Collins, man, that would be one heck of a team, man. John Collins, let's see, what would the starting five be with John Collins minus Kuz? And all goes, I mean, you can slide Bilal to the 3, Poole at the 1. So the question is who you put at 2 guard. And then John Collins at the 4. So, that's tricky, man. I mean, you got Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, that would be tricky, man. So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind it, but it's all about fit. Like John Collins, I mean, if you're willing to put Alex Sarr on the second unit, I can see it fitting and that would be a half bad rebuilding team. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas, John Collins, I mean, 5 years ago, that would have been a heck of a team. So we'll see. I don't mind the Utah move. It's just, right now I think that Alex Sarr needs to start, in my opinion. But could him starting off on the second unit be a bad thing? Maybe not. Let's see. Lock the Law says Kuzma's going to eat at the 3. I think so too. I agree with you. Kuzma's going to do his thing at small forward. Yeah, he can play the 4, but to me, with his skill set, he's best served as a small forward. And he's going to – I'm going to go ahead and say this, man. And obviously, we're going to get into over and unders, expectations for the season coming up. But I think he's going to average well over 20 points a game, man, because he's going to absolutely eat on the wing, man, in my opinion. Guru Song says we want John back as a player. I just don't see he's not going to get too much time. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think he can play. I think he can play. Now, you're not going to get the prime John, obviously, with the injuries and his age, man. He's definitely, his speed is going to take a hit, but I wouldn't mind because I think he would do good as far as working with these young players. So I'm with you on that. And I also said, and it can happen too on a nice vet minimum. I agree with you. Great points. I definitely agree with you, man. So everybody, we're at the 31-minute mark, so I'm trying to knock out every comment tonight. Let's see. Gregory Payton says a good bench is important. Some players won't mature in their game, but we still need to understand how much is enough. I agree with you. That's a great point, and that's something that people don't really talk about a lot in basketball. Is you have to have the strong bench. It's not about the starting 5 all the time, man. I mean, because the second unit is eventually going to be on the court. Bench is one of the most under the radar things that people don't talk about. Is bench. So I agree with that, man. Lock and Law says capture the flag or Page Bokers, huh? We'll see. We shall see. Liam Bornin. Oh my God. My bad. Liam born in the DC. My bad, man. Long day, man. Let's see. Couldn't they do Rui, D-Russ, 2 draft picks for Kuzma and Jonas? LeBron wanted Jonas as a free agent. I think they can't move Jonas Valanciunas yet because of I forget what rule it is in the CBA, man, but it's you can't move him after a certain amount of days. So I think that he would be eligible to move either in December or January. So I don't think we can move him yet because we signed him out of free agency. But I'm with you, man. Guru Strong also said Valanciunas would be flipped by the trade deadline. I agree with you. He's definitely a tradable guy. Definitely tradable guy. Kuzma, Landry Shamet, Tyus Jones, Jordan Poole. I mean, I think that right now he's definitely the guy for the next 3 years. But the organization it definitely behooves them to bring his value up because I think he's definitely going to be a tradable commodity, in my opinion. Even though, look, before we got Bub Carrington, I was definitely one of those guys saying, look, because I love Jordan Poole's game. And even more so, I love the fact that, he took so many L's this year, man, and he worked his tail off and he came back and he played good. He played good ball in the second half. So I think that shows a lot about his maturity and what he can handle, man, in my opinion. So I would like him here long term, but here's the thing, look at Denny, 23. They shipped him. So Will Dawkins is going to look the only untouchables right now is 4 players. That's it. And you can maybe Vucevic, but your untouchables right now, and your super untouchables are Bilal and Alex Sarr. But they're not going to move Bub Carrington. They're not going to move Keyshawn Jordan, man. And Vucevic, I wouldn't think so either. But everybody else is tradable. So I believe you on that. Where fans meet, I'm torn because I can see us winning too many games to where it's going to put us out the top 10, but not good enough to make the playoffs. Kind of like the Bradley Beal years, right? So I feel you on that. I think that they're going to be better than last year, but they're not going to be too good. You know what I mean? Because while Jonas Valanciunas is a good compliment to Alex Sarr in your front court, at this stage in your career, what do you really expect from Jonas? You know what I mean? And Kyle Kuzma, he's definitely going to eat on the wing. Jordan Poole's going to eat at point guard, man. And the two guard Bilal, he's going to come back better, especially after playing in the Olympics, man. He's going to be better. So, the Atlanta Hawks showed that you can still be a gray area team and get to the 1 overall pick, because they had a 1.5% chance. I mean, so it's yeah. I think we'll be all right, but I do feel you on that. Like the law says, why would the Wiz flip a $10 million a year proven starting center? Honestly, yeah, and you make a good point with the salary, but when they find a replacement, he's definitely tradable. But here's the thing, I'm with you. I can definitely see him being here 3 years too, because the contract ain't gonna break the bank, because the most important year is after Jonas Valanciunas' contract comes off the books, after Jordan Poole's comes off the books, after Kyle Kuzma comes off the books. Because what's the first thing you're looking to do? Re-sign Bilal to that rookie extension. So 3 years, yes, Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, and Jonas Valanciunas are all tradable assets. Then I believe that the Wizards are going to do their due diligence and looking to deal them. But next 3 years, I mean, if you look at the fact that Kuzma has set roots, he's a small business owner in the DMV. He's got a restaurant in Gainesville, Virginia. He's got that one spot in DC. He's setting his roots. He likes it here. You could see him here for 3 years. You really don't, because if they're willing to listen to him and consort to him over a potential trade to Dallas, then they like him to a degree where he could be here for the next 3 years. And you're really not breaking the bank by keeping him, and we're really not in a rush to move him. But then you look on the flip side of it, if they're willing to move Denny, and if they're listening for Corey Kispert, you best believe that there's a possibility they could flip, Kuzma, Jordan Poole, or Jonas Valanciunas. So I'm with you on that. Valanciunas, very, very good contract. 3 years, $30 million is a steal. But then again, 32 years old, you're not getting the Valanciunas from Memphis. You're not getting the Valanciunas, in his prime. You're getting a guy at 32 where, he compliments Alex R, but a lot of the brunt of the pressure is not going to be on his shoulders. He's more of the role player, right? A lot of pressure is going to be on Jordan Poole being a point guard, Kyle Kuzma being really our number one option in scoring, and Alex R, man. So, so I'm with you on that. I definitely agree with that. Let's see. Kenny said, "Did the Denny trade catch you off guard?" Yeah, it did. I mean, let me start by saying this, man. I knew that there was a possibility that he could be traded. I knew that when there was a link to the Thunder were looking at him. There's teams that wanted Denny. So that I wasn't caught off guard by the fact that he got traded. Is that the sequence of trades? I expected that. Because if you look at the trade right now, what do we know about value? Well, Denny had the best value because they were able to get 2 first-round picks for him. Looking at Kyle Kuzma, we're asking for 2 first-round picks, but we've been unable to find that package. And you don't see a lot of teams that are offering that for Kyle Kuzma. And that's why I'm saying that, is it impossible to get 2 first-round picks from him? No. But I think the more likely outcome would be a first-round pick in players, in my opinion, as opposed to 2 first-round picks. It shouldn't keep you from trying. I definitely think, Will Dawkins could pull it off, but it ain't, you know what I'm saying? So the Denny trade is just a sequence of it. The move a 23-year-old player before you move on from a 28-year-old player, man. That's the only thing that caught me off guard. I would expect that Denny would be, Denny and Corey Kispert would be one of the last to get moved after, Landry Shamet deal, Tyus Jones signing trade, Kyle Kuzma. I think Kuz, but then again, we know that Kuz likes the organization. He likes the city, an organization like him too. Where if you look at Denny, where Denny loved it here too. He had a great fan base here. He had a lot of support here, and he was liked by the organization too. But he had a lot of value, man, and they were able to get a really good package for him, man. And so, I wouldn't really call off guard. Just I questioned the sequence of trades, but let's see. Liam, born in DC. See, I got it this time. DeRozan giving that stare down to Toronto. Yeah, man. Facts. Right, Kenny? Facts. Kato Riz says, I would prefer Anthony Simons over Kyle Kuzma, but I know that ship has sailed. Yeah. Anthony Simons, man, I like him, man. I was with you on that, but yeah, that ship has sailed. Let's see. Guru Strong says Kuzma is not a power forward. I don't know who started the narrative that he was one. I believe he's played more power forward than he has a small forward. And I had to get into the numbers, man, looking back to the Laker days. But even with the Lakers, man, I think he came in the league as a power forward. Where he was a forward where he could play small forward, but he played more power forward in LA than he did small forward. But you know what, Guru, I'm with you. I think that he definitely fits better at the small forward. So I'm with you on that. But so let's see. Luck and Law says if we're really tanking, start Johnny Davis at the 2. Yeah. If you really want to tank, you put Johnny at the 2. You have no problem getting that top 5. And nothing against Johnny, man. All we know is Johnny's working his tail up. So hopefully he comes out ready to contribute, man. We'll see. Because like I said, with the Denny trade was a domino effect, right? Because now you're looking at like, okay, they moved on from Denny. So you best believe Corey Kisper's right there. Now, Johnny Davis is different than Corey Kispert, though, because Corey Kispert, we know what to expect from him. A sniper, right? High basketball IQ, a slasher, a driver, now ball handler. You know what I mean? Defensively, the effort is getting there, even though he's not going to be a stopgap any measure. But, Johnny Davis is, they're starting to call him a bust. And I don't like calling people a bust or calling people soft. I call it low motor. But I'll say this. He's going to have to impress his front office. He's going to have to do it fast because they showed with the Denny trade, there's no loyalty to any of the Tommy Shepard moves, man, or picks. Anybody pick under Tommy Shepard, you're tradable. You best believe, man. All right, everybody, we're at 41. I'm trying to get through these comments. All right, we're close. Okay, let's get it. All right. Where fans meet, this team constructed right now can win 20 to 25 games. So trade them all so we can get the highest draft pick minus Bilal. I agree with you. I think that, a lot of these guys are going to be on the move, whether before the season. Now, before the season, the most realistic guys I see being dealt before the season starts would be Landry Shamet in a sign and trade for ties. Kuzma, I think the earliest he gets moved is the deadline. And Jonas Valanciunas, kind of the same, even though his contract is so crazy cheap. Unless we have a clear center of the future that's ready to start, you're probably going to roll with Jonas probably for the next couple of years because, Vucevic isn't ready. And with the draft coming up, we very well could go get center. I know everybody wants Cooper Flag, but so there's a lot of things need to happen before we get to that point. Link, what's going on? Kuz at the 3 might be good if he passes and polishes up his shot selection, which he did at the end. Yep, you're right. I know I've advocated to trade him because of development, but Poole, Bilal, Kuz, Sar, Jonas would be fine. Yeah, I'm with you. And you hit the nail on the head with all your points. I think he's going to eat at the 3. He definitely needs to learn to get other people involved, but he's going to eat at the 3, man. And you brought the best point, which is shot selection, shooting high percentage shots. Definitely utilize the shot clock. Both him and Jordan Poole both really bad as far as shooting right off in transitional threes, not utilizing the shot clock. And I think you're going to see a totally different Jordan Poole this year coming up. I know that's a different subject for another time, but I think that. Yeah, Kuz is going to do well at the 3, so I definitely agree with that. James Durrell said, Denny is gone, shaking my head. Yeah, I'm with you, but big Denny guy, man. I was ready to go buy. I'm still going to go buy me a Denny, man. I had to buy me that first Bilal, too. As soon as these new City Edition jerseys drop, man, I'm going to get me a Bilal. I was going to get Alex Sarr, man, but then my wife was like, he ain't played yet. So I'm just going to let her have that. Let's see. Guru Strong said, trade Johnny Davis for a bag of Skittles and some sunflowers. Yeah. And a half smoke. And a lottery ticket. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Link, good point, anyone. But their draft picks can get traded. Bub, Bilal, Keyshawn, Sar, Vuk is an entire lineup that fits and will draft them. I agree. That's a good comment because they all complement each other. And that's a great point because I could definitely see Bub being the future point guard. Keyshawn, George, his size, man. I agree with that. Is a great comment, and I definitely agree with that, man. Lock and Law says, why you got to insult skills like that? Y'all ain't right, man. All right, everybody. Let's try to get through this, man, because we're about the 44-minute mark. I'm going to have to do one more, guys. But I look, we're going to do a mailbag this week coming up in the middle of the week, and we're still going to do a live video on Friday next week. So definitely looking around maybe Wednesday for a live mailbag. So I'm going to do one more, guys. I hate not to get to everybody's, man, but we're right around the 44-minute mark. So this is going to be the last one tonight, guys. W. Man said, do you see Bagley staying until an all-star break and then getting traded to clear playing time for Vuk? Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point. Marvin Bagley III. Now, with his age, he fits the timeline. If he plays the snuff, maybe he's a long-term piece. But then, Alex Sarr now, he's looking at the future power forward. He's 7'1", he can be a center candidate. So, Bagley, I think that if they can definitely show that he can be healthy and can contribute, I see him more of a trade asset. So I think definitely they could definitely move him at the deadline, man, amongst other people. So, Will Dawkins got a lot of guys where he can trade and get picks and get young players back. You definitely see Will Dawkins copying the OKC model, and I think it's working, man. Like I said, I'm definitely excited for the season coming up, and I'm excited to see, how he builds his team up, because I haven't been this optimistic in a long time with the Wizards, man. And I've been a Wizards fan since they were the Bullets. I've been a Wizards fan my whole life, man, and I'm very excited about the prospect of finally building this team from scratch, doing it the right way, man, and building this into a sustainable winner. So very, very excited. So, all right, everybody, I hate it. I got, let's see, W Mans, Dan S, and Liam, born in DC. Last 3 comments, I can't get to y'all, man, but I definitely owe you guys, man. So definitely you guys, for next week on Wednesday for the live mailbag, you guys specifically send me some questions, man, so I can hook you guys up and read your question. But again, hey, hope everybody had a safe 4th of July. I know I did, man. Drank a little bit, ate too much, so definitely have fun with the fam. So definitely appreciate you guys taking time out of your Friday night to rock with your boy. So Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7. Cover the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. And I got a call so bad, and I had to read that. Give me a second. All right. So again, appreciate you guys, man. I will see you guys Sunday. So again, I definitely appreciate you guys, man. And I will see you guys Sunday night. Everybody have a safe and blessed weekend. Have fun. The weather's nice. It's hot, as you can tell. It's hot. So definitely, again, appreciate you guys, man, because this channel has grown so much, man. This is my 3rd season, and unfortunately will be my final season. But hey, look, man, you know what? I got a lot of love for you guys, man. And like I said, I'm entering a new era in my life, going soon to be a homeowner and a small business owner, man. But I'm half German, and auf Wiedersehen doesn't mean goodbye. It means till I see you next time. So, things change in the year, man. So we will see, for right now, it appears it's going to be it. But you know what? I enjoyed talking to you guys, man. It's been a heck of a 3 years. So again, definitely, nothing's definite till it's definite, right? So, all right, everybody. I will see you guys Sundays. You guys stay blessed. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys next time.